Aladdin crossed the $1 billion mark, but its star, Mena Massoud, says he still cannot get an audition after the success of that movie.
Did you see Aladdin?
I have not. Heard it was great.
I did watch it.
Yeah. What's that, Kelly?
I did see it myself. I did.
How'd you like it?
It was fine. You know, I mean, I did not grow up a Disney kid.
Okay.
But yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I really wanted to see it. I was surprised at how well it performed, honestly. I don't know why. It's Disney. We talked about this at length numerous times. Like, they just knock it out of the park with every release. But it's one of those things where it's like, because kind of the similar thing sort of happened with, I'm going to butcher her name, but Lupita Nyong'o. Mm-hmm. Like after 12 Years a Slave and all of the acclaim she got from that, like she had a really hard time getting other roles. I think her next role after that was Star Wars: The Force Awakens.
Yeah, I remember her next two things were both voice acting, that and Jungle Book.
Yeah, she did voice
see her
acting
face
for a lot of things. It wasn't. I don't think. What was her? Do you know, Kelly, by any chance, what her first non-voice acting role was after 12?
Give me a second, I can look that up.
I feel like it might have been Black Panther.
For Lupita, correct?
Yes.
Okay, give me a second.
Black Panther. But I mean, this is just one of those situations where, you know, on one hand, yes, I think Mena Massoud probably has a little bit of a point, a little bit of a thing to grind about. Okay, I was a part of this thing. It's been a huge blockbuster success. He's not asking for roles, just auditions, like just the ability to audition for a role. But at the same time,
did he say he hasn't had any auditions or any roles?
He said he hasn't had any auditions. So like, that's like. The audition, like the role thing is different. Like I can understand how someone could star at something that's a major hit and then not get any roles for a while after. Like that's just a part of, you know, the sausage grinder. But to not get any auditions after something like that.
I don't know about that. I don't know. He might have been exaggerating.
You think he's exaggerating?
Possibly.
What makes you say that?
Just because it's like pilot season. Like a lot of actors, you know what I mean, are going out like 5 times a day. You know what I mean? He might mean I haven't gotten any auditions for huge leading roles in films, maybe, or something. I don't know. It seems like to have no auditions whatsoever after being in that movie.
I mean there's a reason why this
is anything that are going that are going 5 times a day.
I mean, there's a reason why this is a headlining news story that we're talking about. You know, and I feel like I read this report in Variety, I believe.
I mean, I saw the report, and I've also seen various YouTube people talking.
Yeah,
about
I would
it.
imagine that somebody probably looked into that. Before I mean maybe not.
You can't tell.
You can hardly tell. Well, I mean, if he's been given a chance, like if somebody, not if he's had auditions, but if someone's offered him an audition for something.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I'm not gonna say the guy's lying. That's all I'm saying. I'm just maybe there's that just seems. I mean, I don't think it's any mystery that Hollywood's kind of racist.
Yeah,
I mean,
it shouldn't be a mystery.
If that's the implication, yeah, pretty much. You got it.
I think that is the implication.
I mean, it's a racism driven by a narrow view of kind of capitalist.
It is.
I don't think those people are like Mississippi Burning in the studio.
Well,
we just can't have these people on our screens. It's not that. They just don't think people want to see.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But it's the funny thing is it's one of those it's one of those beliefs that's not driven by data, because whenever they do something like Crazy Rich Asians, which was. It got a lot of acclaim, not just for being a good movie, but also for being a movie that bucked that convention that, people only Asian people would want to go see a movie about Asians starring Asians, and that's not a big enough demographic to warrant the cost of producing that film. And then they release it. It turns out it's a big success. Same thing with Black Panther. It's like, oh shit, people actually like movies that star black people if they're good movies. Like, well, what have we been doing all this time?
Yeah.
Like, there's not really a lot of data that backs up. Like, people don't want to watch shitty movies, but I mean that's regardless of the color of the person that's starring in it. So like that sort of convention might still, even like in the year of our Lord 2019, that it might still be driving decisions like that is bonkers to me.
It's more pernicious than just that.
It must be.
It's like there was a quote from Ridley Scott, and when he was under fire for having a white guy play Moses in his.
Right, that was.
And he basically said, "Hey, you know what I mean? I could put Muhammad something or other in that role, and
but nobody
I couldn't get any money to make the movie."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've got, if I want the movie to be made, I've got to put a big star in there. You know what I mean? And, you know, the amount of star, it's limited with who we can choose because of the, you know, the box office draw
guess
and whatnot.
The concern here is that when you have a dude who starred in Aladdin, like a Disney production that did $1 billion and all of this and that, like, you would think that would make him that kind of a name, or at least put him as a chip in the pile of up and coming names.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, and maybe I mean,
when did Aladdin come out?
Yeah, it hadn't been out. I mean, it's been out what, 6 months, 8 months?
It came out earlier in the year, spring.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like it. You know what I mean? It's been all that long. But I mean, if he hasn't gotten, okay, if we assume that he hasn't gotten any auditions whatsoever, no one has called his agent and said, "Hey, we have can we see so and so?" Or his agent hasn't sent him out for, you know, because that's the thing. I guess that maybe, you know, it's weird. So I have a little knowledge of this, right?
Okay.
You know, your agent sends you out on stuff,
right?
You know, stuff they have the breakdowns and of all the parts that they're having it's casting, and your agent's like, I think so and so would be good for that. I'm going to send them. They call, and you just can't go in, you know.
Right.
And the people that are putting the thing together, the people that are doing the movie, they're not calling you and being like, unless you're Brad Pitt or you're, you know, Lupita Nyong'o now, or you're, you know, a big star. Then a lot of times there are people that'll have projects and they might have you in mind, and they'll be like, "Hey, we'd really like to send the scripts to so and so," and you know what I mean. Now and then it might still be an audition. It might be like, well, we've got several people in mind for this, but we really like them to come and read for this. You know what I mean? And there's some huge celebrities that are like, "Fuck it, I won't come read for it. You either cast me or you don't." I'm a huge famous celebrity. And then there's some that will, you know, it's like, this is a great script. I really want to do this.
And there are even some big actors that are you know, themselves more proactive about that sort of thing. Like, we have to get in our one reference per episode, but like, you know, with Henry Cavill for The Witcher, you know, like he wanted.
You got to add that to the end. I have an excellent Henry Cavill Witcher anecdote that I
But he wanted to be Geralt, you know, so he was the one that went out of his way to try to get his and you know, the showrunner. I forget her name, but you know, she liked you know, what he offered and all that. And you know, obviously he's a name and whatnot. Yeah. But she still went through the audition process with other people, and you know, they went to Cavill anyways. Probably one part because he's a good actor. You know, he was committed to the role and had familiarity with it. Another part, he's Henry Cavill, and it's a Netflix show. You know, so. But I mean, he was still proactive. He didn't wait for his agent to come to him, and I feel like probably maybe that's something that younger actors need to you know, probably do a little bit more too. If this story is to be believed, where this guy stars in Aladdin, makes $1 billion, and then gets nothing.
Yeah. So what I'm thinking is maybe what he means is, when he says I haven't had any auditions, is no one has sent him a script and said we want him to audition for this role.
Okay, you know, so you're taking the definition of haven't had auditions as meaning something
specific. Like what he, you know, because to me that makes sense, and it would still be a major bummer. You know what I mean? It's pretty infuriating.
It's a little less mysterious than the core reading of haven't had auditions.
Yeah, I mean, because the thing is there's auditions that his agent could send him on. You know what I mean? I mean, it's been 6 months. There's been something that he could go on. But his point probably is, hey, I'm the leading man in this movie that just made over $1 billion, and no one has sent me a script saying, hey, we'd like you to come in and read for this part. You know what I mean? No one's got me in mind for any of this stuff.
Fair
enough.
You know
what I mean? And if that's his point, that's an excellent point. If his point is, I haven't had an audition whatsoever since, you know, like there's been nothing I could possibly go out on since, you know, then he needs to get a new agent.
Yeah. I was thinking that, he probably just, you know, needs to start looking at the Rolodex for a new agent. But then
again, man, what I don't know about being an actor in Hollywood and being in a huge movie could fill a fucking book. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm just speculating, and, you know, I think that guy, you know, deserves to be in something else. I mean, he's in something else right now.
He's got a Hulu show that's about to...
I was just looking at it. It's called Reprisal. It's Hulu, so all the episodes just dropped last weekend.
Nice.
He's third billed in that, so I don't know how...
He's what?
Big. He's third billed.
Okay.
So I don't know how big, that cast is.
And, you know, again, going back to our earlier conversations, it will be an uphill battle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, that's why Tyler Perry and Jordan Peele just did their own things, right?
You know, I mean, I mean, it's getting better. It's like Cleveland says.
Yeah. You don't win. You just do a little better each time.
It's getting better, but you know, it is what it is still, unfortunately.
The one thing I'd like to add, though, that the other story that came out days later, which is why it's just becoming a bigger deal, they've announced that Disney Plus is going to make a spinoff show for Billy Magnuson's Prince Anders character, who's in the movie. It's great. He comes out, he steals the one scene he's in, but still, it's like, oh, they're going to give a spinoff to the one white guy in the movie. So I thought that was just kind of weird timing for that to happen right after that other news.
Where is his character from?
What, the
Prince Anders?
Yeah, he just shows up. He's supposed to. The king wants to.
He's a suitor for Jasmine Ender.
Exactly,
right?
that's what I was going to say.
But where is he from in the movie?
Like a different land somewhere near.
They don't say he's not from like Norway or something.
No, I forgot what it was. To be sorry, I don't remember exactly where it was.
Okay. Well, I mean, I guess it's if his character was awesome for his brief moment in the movie, then I can understand why they might want to expand upon him.
But he does a voice, and do we want to hear him do a funny voice for like 10 episodes?
It'll probably be for kids, right?
I imagine it's not
Kids
going
will
to
listen to
be. It's not going to
anything.
be parallel to the Mandalorian.
Anything with a funny voice for 10 episodes.
Yeah, I just spent a weekend with kids, and the shit that they're able to stomach from television, they could handle a funny voice for 10 episodes.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm sure it'll be interesting. I don't know. I haven't seen the movie, so I don't know what other. If they were going to spin off Aladdin, I don't know what other characters from that movie that's not Aladdin or the genie would be appropriate for an interesting spinoff. I think probably any particular suitor of the princesses would be ample opportunity to build on a massive world without stepping on the Aladdin story, especially if they're from a far off land. You could pretty much make a story about anything at that point.
It's tough. I mean, it's the optics aren't great.
The optics are not good at all, especially on top of this story.
The way those shows work is like usually someone will have an idea.
Yeah,
they'll bring it in. They'll put it together. They'll come and they'll pitch it. You know what I mean? And someone pitched. You know what I mean? Around this character. Maybe that guy did or whatever. And they were like, oh, you know what I mean? Yeah, that could work. That's good.
And that was probably pitched a long time ago.
Yeah, maybe. Or I mean, I'm sure that based on his performance, they were like, someone was like, that guy could be and they put it together and they went and they pitched it. And Disney said, yeah, that could be cool. We'll do that, especially based on the amount of money they made. It doesn't work usually the other way, where they're like, we need shows, you know what I mean, with no white guys as the lead. We need some non-white guy lead shows. I mean, sometimes it does, but a lot of times it works. They put the show together and the idea and all that stuff, and they come with that to the people, you know what I mean? And they could be like, yeah, no, we're not doing white guys right now, you know what I mean? But if they thought if the guy was good in the movie, if he stole the scene he was in, they thought it was a good show, they liked the script and where it was going, they're like, yeah, I mean, we'll do this. And then, of course, it breaks right after this guy has a speech talking about how he hasn't given any parts, and it's just like, Jesus
really,
Christ,
really bad timing.
I mean?
Really bad timing there.
I mean, but again, if the implication is that Hollywood is racist, yes, it is.
Yeah, I don't think anyone here is trying to talk you out of that one. But
I mean, if that's,
but it is getting a little better each time.
Yeah, I mean, they're working on it. You know, they're working on both sides of it, the sexism and the racism thing. You know, it's. But keep complaining, because if you stop complaining, that it
gets worse. It gets worse if you stop complaining.
It's basically like a rock. You're pushing it uphill, and there theoretically is an end. It's not a Sisyphean task, but it's
Sisyphean. It is absolutely a Sisyphean task, because if you stop for a second, it's coming back down.
If you stop for a second, it comes back down. But
there's no. We made it.
Well, that at some point,
I guess maybe the South Park Goobacks episode is the ultimate conclusion of.
At some point in the future, you think there's got to be we made it. Jesus.
Nah, let's not give false hope to these people. Anyways, your Henry Cavill thing.
Oh, he's talking about his Witcher voice, and he said that originally in this new featurette for The Witcher, he says, originally I was doing like a British voice because the guy who reads the novels, the novel is from Yorkshire, and I was doing his voice kind of like that. But then he was like, after watching the game, and I was like, dude, and he's like,
he's played as much of it as I have at this point, probably.
He was like, he goes, well, Doug Cockle's performance was so amazing, and fairly singular. You know what I mean? He was like, I just kind of felt like, and he went into some specifics why he felt that also worked. And so he goes, I don't make him American, but I do. And then they cut to where he goes, I had him filed down. You know what I mean? And it doesn't sound British at all.
No, it doesn't sound British. He's British.
I've heard him talk in other parts of the show, and he does have a British accent.
Okay.
But the particular delivery.
I had them filed down.
Yeah, it was just
very Dave Cockrell.
Yeah,
Dave Cockrell had his lawyers on the phone at that point.
Oh, I'm sure Doug Cockrell was just
he's
like,
all about it. He's
whatever,
all about it,
man.
He seems like I've watched videos and interviews.
Yeah.
Seems like a really cool dude. Anyways,